economy, but will be global citizens and will contribute to the global economy of this world. So we are in the change times. It is a very interesting scenario. And what this last 72 days has taught us is a new management system, which I coined it as surprise management. We have now realized with the corona scenario or the COVID-19 scenario, we have realized that life can throw any kind of a surprise at you, and how well prepared are you to manage that surprise will define the level of growth that you will achieve in your balanced lifetime. It is critically important to make sure that we get insulated from such shock treatment in the future. Well, there was no precedent to what has happened, and the whole world was surprised with the pandemic, and they could not come over it overnight. India was one of the first countries to contain and control it to a great extent compared to the success that we have achieved in saving and protecting the lives of the citizens of India. No other country has done it so very effectively. So congratulations to our governments. Congratulations to all the people who contributed and supported the people's lives in this country. And India is a great country. It's on a great growth path, which is going to be unfolding from this current scenario. I would like to share something. I would like to say that post COVID-19, it is going to be called as a new world order. So friends, what is a new world order? What is a world order? Every 50 to 75 years in this world, one country emerges as an economic leader to the rest of the world. And this last happened in 1945 after the Second World War. And America became the global leader economically in 1945 onwards. Typically, the cycle of a new world order is approximately 50 to 75 years, and those 50 to 75 years are over. Now, there are various strong reasons why a new world order comes into place, comes into practice, and currently it has come because of this pandemic. It has changed the way people think, it has changed the way people live, it has changed the way people will think, work, move around, travel, and do a host of other things that they were never used to be doing in the past. So we are going to see a very changed scenario. The psychologies of the people will change. The methodology of the government is going to change. The way people are going to communicate with each other is going to change. Now, how do we adapt to these new changes is going to be a skill set that will be required. The people who will be able to adapt to the current scenario very quickly are the people who will rule the coming world. Today, the priority is saving lives, protecting the economy. So it is the question where we have to address two questions simultaneously. One is the question of life, and second is the question of livelihood. Both are well protected, fortunately, for all of us, not only for India, but also across the world. This pandemic has brought the whole world together as one single family. And what we are witnessing is that the best brains of the world are today working together to solve and resolve the crisis of this COVID-19 scenario or the coronavirus. It will be solved. It is just a matter of time. It might happen now as we are talking, or it might happen tonight, it might happen tomorrow morning, or it might take 3 months more time. But the solution to the virus will be there, and Corona is here to stay. We are going to learn how to live with it, and we will also learn how to work around the coronavirus. So social distancing is going to be a part of our life. Hygiene is definitely going to be a part of our life. We were always hygienic on a personal level, but now we will also be aware about taking care of the hygiene of the environment around us. So our responsibilities have multiplied, our vision has broadened, the way we look at the world has changed, and this is called as the new world order. Now, what is going to happen in this new world order? Some interesting aspects are going to happen in this new world order. India is going to emerge as an economic superpower purely on the basis of the whole world wanting the support of India as a country. The pandemic has distanced a lot of countries from China, which was for the last 30 to 50 years the major provider of products and services to the rest of the world. Now that attention is going to come into India. So we are going to become a manufacturing hub. We are also going to become a great service provider. The whole world now looks towards India as a land of opportunities. And this is the golden era for the Indian economy. We will overcome the coronavirus. The world will also overcome the coronavirus. But what has changed for India is the amount of opportunities India will get due to this new world order. So friends, The only thing that we need to be careful about, and the only thing that we need to be aware about, is that now the skill sets of every human being becomes very important. In the coming days, competition is not going to be only between two products, two companies, or two countries, but the competition is going to be between the set of two human beings. Now, those two individuals can be from anywhere. There is no geographical distance anymore. The whole world has become a small village. You might be competing against an American, a Japanese, a Chinese, a Korean, or a African. Doesn't matter. What matters is how much more skilled are you? How much more capable are you? How much more knowledgeable are you? So it is going to be a contest of skills, knowledge, and capabilities. So we need to really start focusing on ourselves in how we can grow the skill sets that we have, how we can learn new skills, because the world tomorrow is going to demand the output of 5 people from one person. At the same time, the whole world is going to start monitoring the productivity of every human being. And friends, now onwards, every person is going to be monitored under the productivity microscope. Whether it is the citizen of a country, whether it is an organization or a corporate or a company, or whether it is a government, everybody is going to be monitored by the rest of the world on what is the contribution or what is the value addition that that individual organization or the government is giving to the rest of the people in the environment or the ecosystem. My another observation is, henceforth, nobody will be able to operate on their own. Everybody will have to collaborate and work together. This is the time to bring our resources together. So you might not own all the resources, but you give away your resources in the kitty, and you also take other people's resources in the kitty and try to create a business model or a livelihood. So that is going to be the new world order. So these are all very interesting changing times. We need to change with this changing times at the earliest, and that's an advice every one of us need to follow. Again, I'm saying there is no geographical boundaries, there is no caste, creed, religion, there is no language barrier, there is nothing. The whole world is one football ground where everybody will play the game together. So that's the new world scenario. We need to identify the sectors which are going to be a growth economy, and we need to get associated with those kind of sectors so that we can grow along with the growth of that particular sector. Friends, the whole world is categorized into 3 types of businesses. So first, let me talk about an economy. An economy is a pyramid. On the top of the pyramid, you have the government. In the middle of the pyramid, you have the organizations, corporates, HNIs, businesses, etc. And on the bottom of the pyramid, which is the broadest part and the largest number of human beings, that is the citizens of the country. Now, it is very interesting to understand and realize that the citizens of the country are the same entrepreneurs also, and the citizens of the country are the same rulers in the government also. But majority population of the citizens group form employees, either to entrepreneurs or to the governments. Now, the game is going to change. The concept of employees is going to change. There is not going to be employees ever again. People will be answerable for their productivity, and every person working with any organization, whether it is private, public, or government, will become answerable to the output that he is supposed to be delivering, which means the results will be related to the income of the person. So your productivity will be measured and mapped, and accordingly you will be paid. So we will not be getting protected under a safe salary package, which will be giving to us even whether we provide output or not. So that is also going to change. People are now going to be called as partners in progress. They will work on a basic salary, and the majority of the salary will come in the form of incentives, which will be directly connected and linked to the kind of output that they are generating for the organization that they are associated with or with the government that they are working for. So we need to be geared up. After the pandemic is completely cleared, it will not be cleared directly. It will be cleared in phases. But once the scenario is cleared, everybody is going to be monitored on the performance that they are giving. Everybody has to work 1.5 times more than what we were used to be working 75 days back. So it's going to change the scenario in totality. Technology today is no more an option. Technology needs to become your surname. Technology is something that you need to fall in love with. And whatever business model that you do or whatever job that you intend to be doing, you will be doing multiple performances or additional performances out of your capabilities only and only with the support of your technical knowledge, of your tech technology knowledge and how you can help technology to amplify the skill sets and the capabilities that you have procured or you have achieved. Secondly, what is going to be most important is you have to become a continuous student. Even when you reach the age of 70 or 80, you will still need to be learning new aspects of how you can become better productive in this world. So now everybody is going to be alert, everybody is going to be on their feet, and everybody has to be making sure that they become a value add to the economy and not a cost add to the economy. You need to be valuable to the organization and to the country, and then only you will be respected, you will be wanted, and you will be taken care of.
Just a second,
So
let me
friends,
mute.
rather than having a monologue, which I'm currently doing for 15 minutes, I would prefer so it can become a conversation. A conversation is more interesting than a monologue. So rather than I speaking what I love to speak, it is better that I address the questions which are there in your mind, and we can have a interesting journey of this evening together. So I will request Dr. Raj to get me questions which I can address and I can answer them, and we can make this very interesting.
Great. I think that is a perfect start of the very interesting conversation. And without any further delay, I'll start throwing the questions and get a straightforward answer as we can get. My first question is to Mr. Agnolo Rajesh, is about the impact of the COVID-19 on especially the SME segment. In the context of all the SME segments are very pessimistic about their future. They are basically changing their business model in a haste. They don't know whether the business would survive, and they are still living in a very you can say dangerous time where they don't know where the business would be going or not. So what would be your crucial advice to all this SMEs owners, entrepreneurs? Your take.
Thank you, Dr. Raj. Let me share something very interesting. Imagination is always more dangerous than the reality. Always remember this one statement. Imagination is always more dangerous than the reality. The reality is not as dangerous as it is imagined to be. Like there are people who think that the world is going to come to an end, all the people are going to die, all the businesses are going to close down, government is not going to support. So we need to be very optimistic in every aspect of life. It doesn't matter whether it is corona, war, doesn't matter at all. We need to be optimistic and we need to have faith and belief that we are going to be responsible, that the change that we will bring into this world. As far as SMEs and MSMEs are concerned, definitely the times are going to be tough. But has anybody realized one aspect? I have classified the economy into three segments, and I have divided it by three. So 33%, 33%, 33%. All businesses are not in a very bad shape. 33% of the businesses in this world are flourishing, are growing exponentially big. Their companies are making money, their employees are making money, their shareholders are making money. Provided you are in the category of those sectors which are on a boom spirit, like for example, food, logistics, technology, housing, but there are so many creation, your Netflix of educating themselves and improving their skill sets, and there are people who are writing books. I have written a book in the last 50 days, so I'm launching it on the 30th of May at 4:15 in the evening on a Facebook live. At the end of the session, I'll request Dr. Raj to invite all of you to the event that I'm going to be conducting. It is going to be launched by Captain Raghu Raman, who's one of the greatest thought leaders of India. What I would like to say is the first 33% people are people who are in these sectors which is booming and growing. The second 33% sector are those people who are breaking even. Their cost and their income is matching. To sustain, survive, and times, if that is the logic, it to be the 100% businesses going to have financial losses. But how do we check that? That is not the end. It is just what does a business have? A business has resources, a business has manpower, a business has infrastructure, and a business has most important aspect, that is customers. Now, for example, let me give you an example of travel and tours and travels. So there is a friend of mine who's into tours and travels. Is Tours and travels. In the last fifth, now that becomes his wealth. Now he was disillusioned till we met and we talked and we created a strategy, and now he's a very happy man. He was disillusioned because tours and travels business for the next 6 months to 3 years is going to be zero. It's going to be very bad because people are going to be scared to go for pleasure trips or to travel. Now what happens to these businesses? Nothing happens. I will share you a formula. There are 3 ways of growing a business. Way number 1 is adding new customers to your business, which is everybody knows that, everybody does that. Way number 2, the method number 2 is you need to add more products and services to your existing customers. And the route number 3 is doing both, adding new customers and adding more products and services to your existing customers. So the people who come under the category number 33, which are going to be wound up because of bad business model for them in the current scenario, they need to retain the resources, they need to retain their people, they need to retain their people, and they need to look out at parallel businesses where they can give additional new products and services to the same existing customer base that they have, because their customers know them, they trust them, they have dealt with them, and there is a factor of emotional connect between the customers and the service provider. So the businesses which fall under the category of failures, current scenario failures, they need to switch over into alternate modes of business by joining those companies which are in the top 33% category where they are booming. When a business is in the boom, people need more resources, people need more manpower, and people need more ideas and people to share the growth story. So that can be given to this 33% who are on the bottom of the pyramid, who have lost the scope of revenues. So it is a time of smart thinking. Always remember, a free mind can think of ideas. A block mind will imagine the worst than what the reality is. So there are ways and means on how you can float, sustain, survive, and grow. You just need to ideate, you just need to think, come out with a solution, and create parallel source of revenues till your original business comes back to shape. So that's my answer to your question, Dr. Raj.
Yeah, I think the great analysis that you have given us. I think your formula surely I think every participant should write it down, this formula, and not only just write it down, but implement that into your business, where you need to identify the 33% who is growing, and how you can have this collaboration and a joint venture, or let's emerging, where even your business can grow and also those 33% also growing. My second supplementary question to you, Mr. Raghunandan, since you mentioned about you need to identify this 33%, because of your tremendous vast experience, and since you have analyzed this COVID-19 lockdown from the macro and micro perspective, would you throw some light on what are some of the growth sectors that entrepreneurs and SMEs should look for?
Okay, so the priority sector in the country. So understand one thing, when you divide or classify an economy into government, entrepreneurs, and citizens of the country, we need to understand that for the next 10 years, we are going to live in an economy which I call as a loan economy. Okay, so when there is recession or when there is stagnation in the market, when things are not moving and business is not gung-ho, for 66% of the businesses, you face a recession. How do one come out of recession? So you need to get into a loan economy. What is a loan economy? The government will have to borrow money. The citizens will have to borrow money, and even the entrepreneurs, SMEs, MSMEs will have to borrow money. You have to borrow money so that you can sustain, survive, and grow. So you need to adapt to this thought that you have to borrow money to live, because you need liquidity. The liquidity, what I term, is the money that you have, which needs to be consumed during this time. If it is already consumed, then you need to create a credit line. So a credit line is nothing but borrowing money so that you can sustain, survive, and grow. So that is what everybody has to do. The citizen has to do, the corporates have to do, companies have to do, and the government has to do. Now, one is the loan economy, and the second that I would like to share as an idea is economy to come back on its feet from recession. It needs to become a spending economy. Now, what is a spending economy? I am a customer to you, you are a customer to me. If I don't spend money and if I don't become your customer, and if in this world will move, everything will be stagnant, there will be nobody who will be providing you a car, there will be nobody who will be providing you a car, there will be nobody who will be putting the food on your table, there will be nobody who will generate electricity for you, there is nobody going to provide anything to you, and you are going to die anyways. So we need to come into the spend economy. Okay, what we can do is we can restrict expenditure which is not wanted, but the necessities are expenditures that we need to do with both our hands, because that is how the economy is going to propel. In the three categories that I classify, that is the category of the government, the SME, MSMEs, and the citizens of the country. The biggest spending will be done by the government, and for that the government will borrow money and spend into the economy. So the number one sector which is going to receive plenty of unlimited money is going to be the infrastructure sector. So government is going to pump big time money in the infrastructure, because expenditure by the government is money to the people. Expenditure by the government into the economy of the country is money to the pockets of the people. And when money goes to the pockets of the people, the people are empowered to spend that money for their daily living. And that is how the economy will propel back to its shape. And this is called as the water flow technology. The water flow technology is the water wheel technology. If you see the wheel where the water gets picked up from the well and it gets thrown to the ground outside, and again it goes down, and again it lifts water and throws it into the ground again for the water to the field. Similarly, the spending that people do will be the rotation of the money which has been the expenditure done by the government in the economy. So that is how this economy is going to sustain, survive, and grow. So we need to realize two facts. One is everybody has to live on loan for some time, and loan is a very good way of living, because everybody will start working so that they can repay the loan. It is mandatory that 100% of the people of a country or people of a world need to work. Everybody has to contribute efforts. Everybody has to participate in products and services so that the economy can come back to shape. And that is what is going to happen. The pressure of the repayment of the loan to the government will make the government develop the infrastructure. The pressure to sustain, survive, and earn money for the SMEs and MSMEs will make them work effectively. And the pressure to repay personal loans is going to ensure that the citizens of the country come together, work together, stay together, and grow together. That is the only solution for coming out of a recession-based economy.
Okay, great. So I think the theory that you mentioned, that people need to take a loan, and the pressure of that loan on the productivity of the employee gonna increase, and that will help to build the nation, and where we can start that particular wheel. My next question to you is, since you mentioned about that wheel, what would be the importance and significance of the digital platform, since this is our topic for the session, on the moving of that particular wheel?
So let me tell you, the wheel is technology. The wheel itself is the resources will be managed because of somewhere, but he doesn't know who's going to provide it. And the person who has what he needs is in abundance and he doesn't know where to give it. So technology is going to be a great leveler. We are going to be living into a technological world. In fact, we are living dual life. Our one life is the conventional life, that when we meet each other and we attend marriages and parties and gatherings and education seminars and lectures and all of that. That is the conventional world. And the second world is what we are currently on. We are on a digital platform of Zoom, and we are also live on the Facebook. So this is the digital world. So every person is not only a citizen of India, but every person is also a global citizen. Geography does not matter, boundaries do not matter, culture does not matter, language does not matter, religion does not matter. So we are living dual lives. One is a digital life and one is a conventional life. Technology is the only route to be connected to the world and be a part of this particular ecosystem. Whatever you do, irrespective of the career you pursue, irrespective of the business that you do, your major empowering resource is going to be technology. So you need to master technology. You don't have to become a programmer to master technology. You don't have to become a social media expert only to become a technology based person, but you need to make technology as a prime part of your personal economy, whether it is your personal family or whether it is your organization that you own or whether it is your organization that you work for. So technology is going to be everybody's common surname. So the world tomorrow and the life tomorrow is absolutely going to be based on technology. Dr. Raj.
Okay, great. So I think the technology is the wheel that is more important to survive and grow your business. My next question to you, and especially from the SMEs and SMEs, that they understood the importance that technology is the will, but they still face a tremendous issue on how to get that wheel into your business, how to fix that technology wheel into their business and start moving. So how SMEs and MSMEs can integrate the technology into their business and they can start the wheel.
So you need to increase your market with the help of technology. Social media is a great leveler. You don't have to be a Hindustan lever to have a budget of a social media campaign. Anybody and everybody, technology has made it the same level. So it might be Mukesh Ambani on one side and one of us on the other side. Both have access to the same tools. Both can have a penetration done in the same way. It is not necessary that how much money that you'll have to spend to gain the attention of people. It is the quality of the content that matters, which can be going viral with the help of people. So technology is like the Mumbai local train. You don't need to have muscles and power and strength to enter a Mumbai local train. You just need to go and stand between the crowd, and you just need to maneuver yourself well, where the public will lift you up physically and take you in the compartment and then lift you and bring you outside again. But you need to maneuver yourself well, otherwise you will get down at the wrong station. Technology is also accordingly. If you know to use the technology well, if you can build interesting content, you can catch the attention of an Ratan Tata, or you can idea, and that is possible only because of technology. With Twitter, I can directly get connected with Donald Trump. With Twitter, I can directly communicate to Mr. Narendra Modi. With a lot of social media tools, I can connect with anybody that I want, which was not possible once upon a time. And what will attract them? The activity that will attract them. How do I communicate of my communication? That is going to be bringing the attention of the right people to us. So that is very critically important. And networking with the help of technology is critically important. Your friend does not necessarily mean that he needs to stay next door. You can have a friend far away in Israel. You can have a friend far away in Jordan. You can have a friend far away in New Zealand or in America. Doesn't matter. But with the help of technology, what is critically important, especially for students who are with this institution, is you need to create a network at the earliest. Let me tell you something. Every one of us has got unlimited resources around us. We need to understand the resources. We need to identify those resources, and we need to make a plan on how those resources can be connected to ours, so that collectively it can derive the results that we want to achieve in our lives as a personal goal, or as a goal for our organization, or as a goal for our beloved nation, India. So we need to build networks with the help of technology at all points of time. SMEs and MSMEs all have spare capacity. There are people who need to understand and identify spare capacity with the help of technology, and they need to start sharing resources. Sharing resources is the best method to sustain, survive, and grow in a recessionary market. But I'll tell you something. You cannot lose hope. You cannot lose belief. You cannot lose faith. You have to be confident in your mind that you are going to cross this tide very comfortably. You need to ideate and you need to collaborate. Collaboration is the best way forward. The dangerous sectors of 33% need to get married to the prosperous sector of the balance 33%, the top 33%. If this marriage can happen, those 33% people will also sustain through this problem, and they will also become good and large organizations when the times change, which is just around the corner.
Okay, great. I really like the analogy of this marriage and the Bombay local train that you have given us. to simplify your concept and get understood by most of the participants. Since you mentioned about the Mumbai local, I want to add up to and ask you one of the very important questions. Those who are the students who have joined for the session, since you mentioned about Bombay local, it's all not just about the skill and experiences. You just need to be at the right station. So, what and how you'll recommend to the students who is at home right now, how they can reach the right station and get the right local?
Well, everybody needs to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is nothing but understanding your strength, your weakness, what can be your best opportunity, and what can be your worst threats. Everybody needs to make this note before they go to sleep, and they need to analyze what is their caliber, what is their capability, and accordingly design and redesign their plans for their life forward. So everybody sitting at home needs to make that plan. They need to start walking by the pros and cons of what you are, and once you would like to get aligned, making big change by becoming content writers, by becoming digital marketing agencies, by becoming so many things, by driving customers, by driving revenues for organizations, by adding more strengths, more ideas, more methodologies of doing the same thing which was done better than what it was done 75 days back. So there are multiple opportunities. You need to identify the path that you need to walk on. That is critically important. Once you identify the goal, achieving it is very, very simple. A good is he who is able to analyze or understand what is the problem that you are having. Once he understands what is the problem with you, he can give you the right medicine. Not diagnose problem goal and our path forward. We need to understand the route that we are going to take. Understand one thing. Some passion to builds his hobby into a business career or a job or a profile career. If you develop your work model, the parameters of every human being on planet Earth. You are one of them. I'm one of them. You have to identify that secret sauce and start working on that strength and become a master of that. Like I said, competition is going to be between two human beings and their capabilities. So you need to identify what is your passion and fuel that passion and make it into a capability which will have a market price, which will give you business for growth or a job for a career. So you need to define and decide on that and move forward.
Yeah, I think that is the best SWOT analysis that anyone can do right now to not only come out of this pandemic but also to grow. Now, since you mentioned about the SWOT analysis, Mr. Agnel Rajesh, I want to specifically ask you, as per your last 15 years of mentoring the startups and businesses, what are the common and major weaknesses that normally startup founders and MSMEs that they need to take care, especially into the COVID-19 pandemic context?
The biggest problem with SME and MSME is the fear to fail. I don't know why they have to fear to fail. Nobody fails in this world. So a man is not defeated till he quits the situation. If you quit, you are defeated. But जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं ना, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. Never give up. They lose in the mind. It's all a mind game. You don't need to have all the resources in the world. The world has got plenty of resources which can join your existing resources and make a successful business model for you. The way forward is going to be collaboration. The way forward is going to be collective working. The way forward is going to be collective resources. We just need to keep this policy in mind, and we need to have the heart to share the profitability. Understand one thing: the more you share, the more you care. The more you care, the more you get. The world will work together from now onwards. The world cannot function on its own. You cannot function on your own. You have to be a part of an ecosystem. You have to become a part of a value chain. The world of tomorrow is going to be a world of value innovation, not value creation, but value innovation. And what is value innovation? Value innovation is you're going to give to the customer more value than what he paid you for, and you are going to give it to the customer at a lesser price than what you charged him 75 days back, because the world has changed. So can you meet that expectations? Can you match that expectations? If you can do that, there is plenty of business that is available. For the SMEs and the MSMEs, you need to align and associate with strategic partners who can pump in not only money for your growth, but who can also bring strategic customers for you. The rest of the world is looking towards India as a land of opportunities. So when they come to the country, the complications of the country in the current scenario, which is normal for any developing country, even America was like this 100 years back, what India is today. So India is still categorized as a developing country. So no harm in having local challenges. But these local challenges are a boon in disguise, because the rest of the world, when they want to come and set up shop in India, they cannot do it directly. They have to do a strategic marriage, a strategic collaborative arrangement with the local SMEs and MSMEs. So you need to be equipped to be qualifying as a partner to these strategic partners when they come into India. No company in this world has come to India without having a local partner. Like for example, for Toyota, Kirloskar are the partners. For Peugeot, Mahindra was the partners. For Mercedes, Tata was the partners. Now, these are the large partnerships, but even on small level and local level, all the entrepreneurs who are having international collaborations are having these international collaborations because foreign partners have come and joined them. So I have a friend called Nitin Munot who has a company called Technocrats. So he constructs and he installs sound barriers. Sound barriers are the new models of sound barriers on the highways, so that it is avoiding noise pollution to the people who are living near the highways. So as a concern of the society, it is our duty to make life comfortable for every possible citizen of the country. So sound barriers add to that feature of the government. Now, these sound barriers are manufactured with a technical collaboration with a German company. Now, can the German company come into India and take orders from the Indian customers? It is not possible. They can bring technology, they can bring the power of money, but the local connectivity, understanding the local culture, and executing jobs at the local level can be done only by the SME or the MSME of India. So these are glorious times for us. Everybody will come and partner with us. We just need to sustain, survive, and grow. We need to take help of the government wherever it is practically possible. Now, government is not going to come to your doorstep and give it to you. Banks are not going to come to your doorstep and give the loans to you. You have to struggle, utilize your connections, utilize your knowledge, utilize your relationships, and make the loan possible. Make the support of the government possible. You have to go and fetch it. You cannot expect somebody to come and do it for you. अगर मुझे स्वर्ग देखना है तो मेरा मरना जरूरी है. बाजू वाला मरेगा तो स्वर्ग भी वही देखेगा. So do not take anything for granted. You have to be a part of the game. You have to be in the battle. You have to be at war, and you have to win your own battle. It starts from you. Leadership is nothing but the guy who can lead himself well. And he's the guy who first starts with leading himself. Today is the time where the SME owner and the MSME owner has to lead from the front. शायद वो भूखा रह जाएगा, 2 वक्त का खाना खाएगा, लेकिन उसको उसके लोगों को 3 वक्त का 4 वक्त का खाना खिलाना जरूरी है, because his workers are his soldiers and they will win this battle for him. So every entrepreneur today has to lead from the front, has to live by example. You cannot be in the comforts of your air-conditioned cabin sitting there and making plans. Those plans will not work. Today, employees need leadership. Today, employees need support of the entrepreneur being with them in scorching heat in his sports shoes, ready to go for the run with them and lead by example. So you need to have a change mindset. You need to lead from the front, and then things will change at your end, because your people will become soldiers. If you support them today, they are ready to take a bullet on their chest for you in a war or a battle. But that is the kind of followership that you need to build as an entrepreneur for the people who are working in your organization, and you need to definitely lead from the front.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be the captain of the team, and you need to trust your team members. This is how you win the World Cup into the foreign countries. This is where I like to point it out. And since you mentioned about that swarg analogy, जब आप मरते नहीं हो तब तक आपको स्वर्ग का मजा नहीं आएगा. I just want to pinpoint on the same thing that you mentioned कि for the MSMEs, for the startups as well, getting the investment, getting the funding is right now is a very important thing for the collaboration or for the further expansion as well. And especially most of the SMEs and MSMEs are not that aware about the government schemes, whether it's from state government or a central government or maybe some outside countries as well. So how SMEs and MSMEs can take huge benefits of this entire government support, if you can just elaborate on the same.
So they need to be alert, they need to be alive in their mind, they need to be enthusiastic. So I will say for every SME and MSME, I have created a formula called the DDLJ formula. What is DDLJ? So DDLJ is, first is you define your challenges. Once you define your challenges, like how the doctor will define what's wrong with you and then he will prescribe the medicine to you. Once you define your challenges, suddenly you will realize the resources which are available at your disposal, which can help you to solve those challenges. So first you define the challenges. Step number 2 is the decide the line of action. Once you define the challenges, the second D is for deciding the line of action. You need to define, then you need to decide the line of action. No coming back, lead from the front, be bold, be courageous, lead from the front. After the 2 D's, we have got the DDL. The L is for leadership. Lead from the front. Always be in the thick of action. Show a change scenario. As a leader, you need to eat last. कुछ बचेगा तो आप खाओगे, वरना आपको भूखा रहना है for your team. Because if you do that for your team once, no team in this world will allow their leader to go hungry. No team in this world will do that. So we need to earn that kind of dedication from our team, and this is the time to earn that kind of dedication. And the last alphabet is J. There needs to be joy and happiness in what you do. If you are going to be worried and anxiety is going to be there on the top of your mind, you will not come out with solutions. And if you are going to be mentally disturbed, your team is going to be mentally disturbed. So we become the way we think. So how we think is critically important. We become what we imagine. So what we imagine is critically important. So we need to imagine positivity and optimism, because that is what your team will also start believing in. The game has to be won in the mind. Once it is won here, then winning on the ground is going to be easy. You need to research solutions for the challenges that you are facing, and who can understand it better than you yourself, because your challenges cannot be known to me. My challenges cannot be known to you unless and until we don't disclose it to each other, we don't discuss it with each other, and we don't strategize on how to solve it. Also, it is very, very important to have a circle of very good optimistic friends and entrepreneurs, fellow entrepreneurs. We need to ideate every single situation. We should not decide on our own. We should have collective thinking, and we should validate every decision that we are going to take and implement. Without validation, do not implement any decision in the current times, because these are the times where there are a lot of chances of you going wrong. But if you validate it, there are people who might be having a better experience than you or more knowledge on that particular subject that you are making a decision on, and you might be saved at the nick of time to take the right decision. So validate your decisions, be in a group, always be a part of an existing ecosystem. So I am a part of multiple ecosystems. Like for example, I'm a part of an organization called Business Opportunities Club, which is a body of entrepreneurs where we come together, work together, stay together, and grow together. We ideate together, we validate together. So I'm a part of Business Opportunities Club. I'm a part of another organization, which is a global organization called Corporate Connections. I'm also a director on the board of the Christian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm also a part of a club called Saturday Club, which has got more than 18,000 entrepreneurs from Maharashtra, which are spread across the world. So you need to be a part of an ecosystem that supports you psychologically, that also supports you not only to define and understand your challenges, but they also help to resolve the challenges that you're facing. So you need to be a part of an ecosystem and always ideate and validate the decisions that you're taking. That is my solution to all the SMEs and the MSMEs. And these are the same solutions that even I am adapting to. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm into multiple businesses. I have got the same formula. 33% of my businesses are doing very well. 33% are breaking even, and 33% are generating zero revenue and having plenty of expenditure. But I can smile, I can talk, I can walk, because I've got diversified mode of revenues. Another thing to learn is never in life have only one single stream of revenue. Always build minimum 3 streams of revenues, which will help you in an uncertain scenario like the current scenario. Now, for example, suppose if somebody has only one business of line of business, that is tours and travels, and if that business has taken a backstage in the current scenario, how does he run his family? How does he run the families of the employees that he has? We need to be socially responsible. All the decisions that we take, all the strategies that we develop need to be beneficial to the economy. So you cannot take wrong decisions. The responsibility of the economy is on your shoulder. The responsibility of the economy of your employees is also on your shoulders. We need to be responsible for those kind of responsibilities that destiny has bestowed upon you. So you need to be smart thinking, and you need to be quick thinking in these current times.
Great. I think this is the best advice that all the participants that can get to become the captain in the true sense. My next question to you, Mr. Agnolo Rajesha, is what are some of the common professional bad habits beliefs that you have seen for the SMEs, for the MSMEs, for the social enterprises, that you think this is the right time? If you're not changing, you're gone off the game.
Okay. So, Dr. Raj, can we take this as the last question if you don't mind?
Sure, done.
Yeah. So that's a very nice question. Every SME and MSME do not, nobody has done surprise management, of course, but they don't have backups because in the process of expanding their business, they always live cut to cut in terms of credit lines or in terms of liquidity in hands. My suggestion is 20% of the revenues that you generate, you should always create a safety net fund. Nobody did that. Even I didn't do that, but I will be doing that now. I used to do it in some other format, but I will do it consciously from the active businesses that I have. So that needs to be done. Also, what is important to understand is our competition can become our complementing partners. So we need to work on each other's strengths and try to have a collaborative kind of an attitude. Let us not kill our competition. Competition is necessary because जब तक आदमी तीखा नहीं चखता तब तक उसको मीठे का वैल्यू नहीं समझता. So let there be competition. Their mistakes are your selling points, and your mistakes probably can become their selling points. It is dual system. It is both sides. It is the both sides of a sword. But how you can correlate and coexist together in an economy is very important to understand. We need to have a SWOT analysis of the organization also. The current pandemic has also given way to another scenario. There is a feeling, again, a very wild imagination that lots of people are losing their jobs. My friends, only those people are losing jobs who are not capable and who are not a revenue account to the organization that they are associated with. A lot of companies are closing down. My friends, only those companies are closing down who are not competent and who are not giving value-based products and services to their customers. A company which has given good value to the customers can never close. An employee which is productive to the company can never lose a job. But there are also scenarios where a productive company with a productive employee has also closed business because the country has come into challenges like Spain or like China. If your country is into a problem, you cannot do anything. So you have to move other locations or you have to start serving another audience in another country, which has not got that kind of an impact. So you need to be quick thinking and you need to redirect your guns to the right possible places. The people who can be revenue generating and are productive. Suppose the person is productive, but the company has failed. What happens to the productive person? There are 100 people in the market who can pick up people who have given positive results. Friends, understand one thing. An employee loses a job for various reasons. A company closes for various reasons. And those reasons might not be applicable to you. But they should not become applicable to you for tomorrow's life is what precaution and caution that you need to take today. And that is how you need to move forward. Life is all about planning. Life is all about strategizing. Life is all about resource management. Life is all about collective living. Life is all about collecting the right resources. Life is all about having the right thoughts, and life is all about taking the right ideated and validated decisions. If you are firm on this methodology of thinking and living, you will always be a successful person and you will always form a part of the top 33% categorization of the sectors that I did, which are always flourishing and which are always positive. Friends, the sectors in the coming days which you need to look out for is going to be technology, food, clothing and shelter, infrastructure, education and pharmaceuticals. These are the sectors which are going to have absolute boom, and anybody and everybody who is going to be associated with these kind of sectors will have a flourishing business, a flourishing job career and a flourishing future. So that's my message to all of you, my friends, and you all have an absolute God bless future. Please ideate. Please get connected to the best people in your life. Please be connected to all the right people in life and always have multiple Dronacharyas. So what is the concept of having multiple Dronacharyas? Let me explain that to you as a parting shot. Even Sachin Tendulkar, who was the best cricket player in the world, on the day he retired, even then he had a coach. He didn't have overconfidence that I'm the best batsman, so I don't need a coach. Anybody and everybody in this world needs a coach. Always have coach. Now there are two types of coach that you can have. One is a coach where the coach knows that you are the student and you know that he's a coach, and both know that you are coaching. He's coaching you and you are getting coached. That can be Dr. Raj in your current scenario where he's organizing the education for you and you are getting coached. So that is a coach in place. But there are a lot of people who don't know that they are coaching you, but you are getting coached by them. I want you to become conscious. Make a list of all the Dronacharyas that you have in life who are actually coaching you. It might be a Jeff Bezos, it might be a Ratan Tata, it might be a Mukesh Ambani, it might be Narendra Modi ji, it can be anybody. Now, they don't know that they are coaching you, but you need to consciously understand of whom should you make your coach. And every coach today is available in the comfort of your drawing room or your bedroom thanks to technology. God cannot answer all the questions directly, so he created Google. If you have any question, you Google it, you will get the answer. God cannot provide a teacher to every house in the world because there are not so many teachers available. So he created YouTube, which has got all the teachers available in the world who can teach you at the comfort of your time, convenience, and place. So take advantage of these tools in your life and become the best capable, competent human being on earth, because tomorrow we are going to compete with the rest of the world. The competition is not between Indians at all. That will be complementing. We have to compete with the rest of the world, for which we need to become capable. So if you have Dronacharyas in your life, and have plenty of them, have 20, 30 Dronacharyas in your life, they become the guiding force of building your capability standards. So identify them, start living with them. Let them not know they are coaching you, but get coached by them. Like the Eklavya, we can become Eklavya to so many Dronacharyas in our life. I have plenty of Dronacharyas in my life, and they coach me, they educate me on what I should be doing next. Whatever I'm communicating with you is from my hardcore experience of the businesses that I've done, and from the unlimited number of Dronacharyas who have touched my life. My driver also is a Dronacharya to me. So identify your Dronacharyas and become an outstanding citizen who is so capable that he will be able to deliver the output of 5 people put together, and you become a valuable resource to whichever economy you're associated with, whichever organization you're associated with, or whichever organization that you're going to start for yourself and for the others. I wish you all the best.
I think that sums up the entire session, Mr. Agnolo Rajesh. Identifying the right Dronacharya to become the perfect Eklavya to transform the Indian economy into the current COVID-19 times. It is the best way that you can transform your business, not only your business, but also the entire country as well. We are flooded with the questions. We are flooded with all the applause for the entire sessions that you got. But I think asking you the question would be foolish, because you have you have ultimately summarized with your views, with your analogies, with your examples. I think, the last 45 to 50 minutes, I think that was the life changing for almost all the participants. So I think from entire Digital Gurukul family and all the participants who have joined for the session, I thank Mr. Agnolo Rajesh to accept our invitation and come for a Digital Gurukul masterclass. I'll request all the participants, you just share the feedback or review about the session that Mr. Agnolo Rajesh has conducted. He is there on the Facebook, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms. Just go there, just tag Digital Gurukul and Mr. Agnolo Rajesh, and then you can share the feedback about the webinar. You can just take a screenshot, and Agnolo Rajesh has mentioned about all the social media links as well. So you can very well get connected with him as well. So with that note, thank you so much, Mr. Agnolo Rajesh, for being. Yeah, please go ahead.
So I would like to share as I go now, and we continue with our own lives, but let us get connected. There is this social media handles. Anytime, anywhere I can be helpful to you, you can definitely reach out to me on my social media handles. I'm an absolutely very aggressive, very proud Indian. It is our collective responsibility to make India a absolutely greater country. We need to lead from the front. We will be the best country in the world. We will become the economic superpowers, but that can happen only when we can do it collectively. In my capacity as an entrepreneur, whichever way I can support or guide you, definitely it will be more than a pleasure for me to do that. Get connected to my social media handles and we'll be in touch forever. Relationship is the only ship that never sinks. Build as many relationships as possible, and let us all bring great growth and glory to our wonderful beloved country, India. On the 30th of May at 4:15 in the evening, Dr. Raj, I'm launching a very interesting book which I wrote during this lockdown. It is called the 50 New Life Mantras, where I have discussed and where I have written down the solutions that can be helpful to a mindset that needs to be changed. So that book will be available on Amazon Kindle. Amazon is publishing the book. Captain Raghu Raman. Everybody should note this name, Captain Raghu Raman. He is one of the most inspiring people in the world today. He's a very big stalwart for our country. You need to understand him. You need to follow him. He is going to be launching my book. It is a 30 minutes online session on Saturday, 30th of May, 4:15 p.m. to 4:45 p.m. Please be a part with me on this journey. Please look forward to the book. It might definitely help you. And let's all stay together connected. We might not see each other. I might not see you today, but I will see you soon whenever we get connected with the help of thanks to organizations like your organization, which is promoting digital education so aggressively. And let's be permanently connected. Wish you all the best. Be successful and make India great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Making India Great. And please, Mr. Regnal Rajesh, kindly share the details about the book launch and the event. We'll surely circulate to all our past students and current students, and they will be, glad to join the session and get the book. We'll surely promote the same.
Thank you so much. Have a God-blessed evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that note, we'll end up the session, and we'll meet you again with the next amazing speaker. Till then, good night and stay safe.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much.